Hey guys, this is Tam.
And that's Khush. Welcome to Life with Tam and Khush.
Welcome, guys.
So for today's video, we're finally answering the 20 questions about us couples edition. And I'm actually pretty nervous about it because there's a lot of juicy questions in there that you guys asked on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, she's an open book. And
I'm cool with it. I'm honestly very cool with it, but it has been a journey getting this guy to open up on camera. Are you going to be truthful with your answers? And that's my question.
Of course. Bring it on.
So this is how the Q&A is going to work. Basically, we have compiled 20 questions from you guys, the audience. Some of you sent in video submissions and some of you sent in anonymous questions on a question poll. And so we've kind of compiled the 20 most asked questions to put in this video. Okay, here we go.
The number one question. What's your and Cushaw's love story? How did you guys meet? How long did you date? And how did he propose?
Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys right off the bat that he has his version of how we met and how we fell in love, and
it's
I have
not a
mine.
version. It's the truth.
Okay. Go ahead, share your version, your truth.
So a little background, our families have known each other for a long time, and we actually saw each other after so many years at a family party. And I was playing tabla and I sang a few songs at that party, and she was just dancing all night and flirting with me, giving me the eye.
Okay.
Whatever you want to call it.
Okay. No.
So I was from LA and she was from the Bay. I ended up staying back a few days.
To hang out with my cousins.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I hung out with her cousins, and obviously she tagged along every time we hung out. We actually caught a vibe, and we started flirting with each other.
No,
she was more flirty.
No. He was flirting with me.
No, I was
and
very
I was
shy.
just like kind of shocked.
I was a shy young lad. When I came back to LA, we kept in touch as friends. That was my understanding. That we were, we'd be good friends.
I swear to God. Okay, I'm gonna cut him off right there. Let me tell you guys what really happened. So at that family party, there was a situation where we had to dance together. So backtracking from that, I was supposed to dance with my cousin, but then we ended up bringing on my other cousin in it. So they were going to be partners and I needed a guy partner myself. So then my cousin was like, hey, let's ask Cushaw. He's coming anyways to this party. And let's figure that out. And I was like, okay, but isn't he performing? And they were like, well, it's to another song. We'll just play the song and he can dance with you. So I was like, I think this guy's like really shy. I've never seen him dance in my life. Like, why don't you call him and ask? So he ended up calling him and he was like, hey man, like I have this skit that we need one more guy for. Are you down to do the dance with us in the skit? And so Cushaw's question was, who's my partner?
No.
Yes. You were on speaker. I was right there.
No.
Who's my partner?
Back then there were no speaker phones.
My cousin was like, it's Tamano. And then Cushaw was immediately, okay, I'll do it.
No. Hold on.
Mister, I'm so shy. I never danced at any party.
I've never seen her. No,
you did.
I haven't seen you like 10 plus years. So
you've never seen my pictures in all those
years? No, there was no
You've
social media back then.
I had a MySpace back then.
No, I don't think MySpace was, was going back then.
Yes, it was.
Well,
it was 2002. So I'm pretty sure MySpace was...
It was the beginning of 2002.
So fast forward to the party, we do the dance, and then he's like dancing with me the whole rest of the night.
Whoa,
yes.
Wait a minute.
So I was like, no, wait, okay. I guess this guy just
fabrications. I swear, you're making it up.
I'm not making it up. Okay, that was my perception. That he was just like...
She was trying to lock eyes with me on the dance floor, and then it happened.
You were still dancing with me after our skit was over.
I wish that we can show you guys this
I have
video.
pictures.
It's on VHS.
Pictures. You know what? We should get that video. So after that party, we still weren't romantically connected or anything. We just kind of let it go. But my parents and my grandparents, actually Nani and Nana, noticed a little spark between us on the dance floor, and they said something to my parents. They're like, just warning you, something might go on between these two. And so my parents kind of were like, I don't think so. I was very Americanized. And so the last person or the last like ethnicity that anyone thought that I would get with was an Afghan guy. As far as after that party, he went back to LA, but then he came back for another event weeks later. And that's when we started talking. And the way he got my number was he didn't ask me for my number like that. We went to the mall and I was working at the mall and everyone was like roaming around and he wanted to split up and hang out with one of his guy friends for a few minutes. And he goes, how am I gonna find you when my friend leaves? And someone mentioned just take down Tam's number and text her or call her when you're done.
Yeah,
and so you were like, oh yeah, I'll do that.
That was not planned. And, you know, I really needed her number.
But then you kept texting me.
No.
Over and over.
That was her cousin grabbing my phone.
No. It's facts are facts. I wish I still had those texts. After that, he started emailing me all the time. And then you guys, get this. Wait. I'm going to tell them something.
It takes two to tango.
He emails me and says, when can I take you out? And I was like, what do you do? You live in LA, I live in the Bay, our families know each other. Why are you asking
She
me
liked
out
Taco
right
Bell,
now?
so I wanted to take her out, you know, as a friend, you know, treat her to a Mexican pizza.
I'm dead. So I was like trying to dodge the question. I didn't know where it was going. I was so confused because I've never done this with a dude that is like so close to the family and he's Afghan and I'm just like flipping out. So I'm thinking, okay, let's just be friends for a little bit and see how this goes. We just talked on the phone sometimes. I get to know him. We talk about everything, like literally everything. On my way home from work, I would call him and I would take detours and drive around for like 45 minutes, even though my work was only 15 minutes away. So we start talking more and more and I don't know what happened. This is the part where I have no words. I don't know what happened, but
she fell head over heels.
I fell for him, but I didn't say anything. He said it first. He was like, I need to talk to you about something pretty serious. And then he opened up and said that he could be falling in love with me. And I was just like,
she's all like, I've been in love with you.
No, I didn't say that. So long story short, we ended up kind of starting off this long distance relationship without seeing each other, without meeting each other or anything for a while. We wanted to just kind of build our friendship and our connection. I actually think that totally worked for us because it didn't start off as a physical relationship. This was like purely just a real vibe and a real bond. And then things got really real when he and his family decided to visit the Bay Area and come see me because he had just told his parents and they wanted to come see me. And I was so nervous. And I think this was like the big turning point in our relationship. The first time we would see each other in person. Yeah. Because we even decided on the phone, we're like, look, whatever happens, this next phase, which is us meeting in person after everything that happened on the phone, you need to be honest with me. I need to be honest with you. If the physical attraction isn't there, then we need to be honest with each other and just end it where it is. So that was like the big like lead up moment. And I still, like when I think back at it, I get so many butterflies in my stomach because I'm remembering that moment where you came to my cousin's house with your whole family. Right. And he came down with my cousin to greet me. And I was pulling up and I saw him. It was like a shadowy figure because it was nighttime. And I'm just like, boom, boom, boom. Oh my God, are we gonna be attracted to each other? I don't even remember how he looks like. Oh my God. And then fireworks, just fireworks. I couldn't even believe what was happening. I honestly thought that it was just gonna fizzle as soon as we saw each other, but it was just like intense. And that's when we knew this was a forever thing. We weren't gonna just quit.
So I had the same feeling when I saw her. I just knew right away she was the one that I wanted to marry.
Stop. So fast forward, we ended up dating long distance for 7 years. Originally, you had mentioned within a couple of years you wanted to get engaged and kind of make this official, but my family is really against long engagements. So we ended up just openly dating, visiting each other back and forth between the Bay Area and Los Angeles. I was building my career, finishing school and doing all that stuff, and he was doing his thing as well. And by the time we were both like ready to make this happen, 7 years had gone by. Eventually, there was no proposal. It was just understood right off the bat as soon as we officially started the relationship that we were gonna get married. My dad even told him after we made it official and like saw my dad face to face. My dad straight up was like, I understand that your guys' intention is to be together, but I just want you guys to know that this is not a game. This is involving our families now. You both need to take it seriously. And I think my dad was more so talking to me because I'm like the more playful one and the one that's like happy-go-lucky, not so serious. And my dad was basically just telling me, like, if you mess this up, girl, it's going to be over between our families. And that's a lot of pressure, you know? So that's, I think, another reason why I really wanted to take our time with this and build something strong before we actually make that jump and get married. Okay, next question.
All right, what was the process like getting to know each other's parents, introducing Cushaw to your parent?
I feel like both of us had very different experiences with the whole getting to know each other's families thing. Like, obviously our families knew each other, we knew each other's families, but it's different when you're dating because there's a whole other level to getting to know each other as a daughter-in-law or as like a future son-in-law, you know? So we had very different experiences.
Oh yeah, I mean, her parents are more open, more, you know, we had more freedom when we were around your parents. My mom was very defensive. Obviously, I'm the youngest.
You're the baby, you're the favorite.
I'm the baby, and she was more, you know, hey, you know.
She's more traditional, like more old school. And that was one of the things that my parents were actually really concerned about was that we basically grew up as hippies. Like, we were just super free with everything and very trusting and open-minded. It was totally new for you guys because in his family and with most Afghan families and even Indian families, you don't really date, right? Like, you go straight to an actual formal relationship, whether it's being engaged or to be engaged.
And if you do date, it's behind their backs.
Right.
It's not like a, hey, guys.
We were open.
Yeah, it was the first open dating.
And I had social media at the time, so I made it very public.
Oh, yeah,
like,
MySpace.
Yeah, everyone knew that we were dating, and people were actually really shocked that we weren't engaged and we were doing this like kind of like very shamelessly, and it was kind of taboo. But my parents, like I said, they trusted us and they understood that like we would be responsible for whatever decisions we end up making.
Right.
I would fly to LA a lot of times for work as a makeup artist, and I would see him and he would come to the Bay at any occasion and come stay with us, and it was understood and it was okay. His parents were also okay with it. It was just a lot for them to digest because they were also probably answering a lot of questions from their communities, like why are they not engaged, where's the ring on her finger, and all that stuff. So as far as like me getting to know your parents, I think my biggest challenge was the fact that I was so different and I was a rebel and I was really young and feisty and fierce, and I look back and I have a lot of regrets, but at the same time I learned from all of my mistakes. Starting off in the relationship, it was very rocky because I didn't agree with a lot of the ways and a lot of the opinions that they had. And, you know, as far as like even just me visiting, if I was sitting too close to him, there was like eyes and weirdness, and he would, you know, have to sit away from me. And I was like, dude, we're long distance, I miss you, I want to touch you, I want to be all over you.
Not over here.
And so while we're dating in his living room with his parents there, it was, you know, disrespectful in front of them for me to be all over their son without me being married or engaged to their son. And now looking back at it, obviously that was really ballsy of me and really disrespectful. I should have understood at that time. But when you're young and you're in love, you guys, like, you're not looking at what other people think. You just want what you want. And I just wanted to be with him and I wanted to touch him physically because we were long distance. It's frustrating. And my whole thing was, why can't they understand? Why can't they get it? Like, I miss you. You're there with you all the time. Like, why do you have to sit with them? And, you know, that's what we would fight about all the time. Like, why are you sitting over there? Sit with me. I'm the long distance girlfriend.
Yeah.
So, I mean, things now obviously are so different, and I had to grow up a lot and realize also you can't change someone's family. You can't change their mentality. You can't change their values, their core way that they're brought up. But I was still young. I was still able to adapt and change. And so I physically and like mentally had to be more, I guess, more mature about everything.
Right.
And be that daughter-in-law that my mother-in-law yearned for, you know? Like, I started to spend more time in the kitchen with her. I started to actually talk to her more. Instead of me visiting LA just for him, I realized I had to put in an effort with the family too.
And you did.
I love them to death, and I'm so lucky, so blessed that they have always been so supportive of me and been understanding even through all my rebellious stages with them. They were by my side and they got it. Like, a lot of it was just in my head. So that was like my journey, getting to know his family and also not lose myself, right? You have your own identity, but you have to respect your elders and understand that it's not up to them to change. It's up to you to make that effort.
They were coming from a different place.
Right.
You know, and so it took some time, but...
Oh my gosh, so much time. I feel like that was also one of the reasons
why
it took us
so much.
7 years
it's
to...
Like,
I know.
They love you more than me, so...
They always have my back,
That's
you
true.
guys. But my parents do that with him too. Like, it's always like
Sometimes.
the parents... What do you mean sometimes?
Sometimes they have my
Okay,
back.
sometimes they have mine too. Okay, next question is going to be a video submission.
It's Shamila. My question is, if Cushaw had to change one thing about you, what would it be? And Cushaw, if you had to change one thing about Tam, what would it be?
Oh. Can I go first?
Okay. Juicy.
It's not juicy, you know.
What would you
like,
change about me, really?
Maybe tone it down a little bit. You know, be a bit more calm. She does not know how to whisper. Okay, I don't think you've ever whispered in your life. Her whispers are, it's like me talking right now. This tone.
So you want me to be more like you?
Just calmer. Yeah, she's a little ratchet too, but we're not gonna.
But we like that. We
We're not
like
gonna
the
get into
ratchet.
that.
We like the ratchet. We like the twerking. We like the
stop.
little bit of
Stop
ghetto. It's
with the
okay.
Cut.
So if I could change something about you, it would be to be more like me. How about that?
Loud at
How
all
about that?
times.
Loud at all
At
times.
all times.
What the hell? Just saying.
I don't like.
Just
I don't think
saying.
that's gonna ever happen.
Just saying.
I just don't see it.
Okay, and I don't see what you see. Next.
What made you move from the Bay Area to LA?
Work. And I had promised him because
My
he's from
family.
LA.
Yeah.
His whole family was in LA, and I knew I wasn't gonna stay in the Bay because of, you know, my artistry and stuff. But my goal was to come to LA anyways. So when we got married, we moved to the Bay, and then, or he moved into my place in the Bay, and then I told him, like, give me like 6 months to a year max, and we'll get to LA. And then it turned into 3 years. Because I was still building my business. Anyways, we ended up back in LA, and I couldn't be happier. I freaking love it here. And I think some of the other questions were like, we actually got a lot of questions about this, like, would I ever move back to the Bay, or what do you like better, Bay or LA? I have to say, I love LA. I don't think I could ever live anywhere else after this. I'm very happy here. I moved my whole family here afterwards, so we're good. The only thing I miss though is the food in the Bay Area. The food is phenomenal.
Food was amazing.
Okay, next question. What made you decide that you were ready to have Aliya and now baby boy?
Well, I've always been ready. I come from a big family. I have lots of nieces and nephews. So, you know, for me, a big family is ideal. Her, on the other hand, just wanted a cat.
Pretty accurate. I never ever saw myself as a mother. I am an only child, and so I never had that like maternal instinct. I never had that yearning need to be a mom. I just was not that much of a family person in that extent. But what finally kind of changed my mind was knowing how ready he was. I kind of knew whenever I would be ready that we would just do it. But my grandmother, actually, Nani, had asked, like, as her dying wish, to see my baby and to be a great grandmother. And so that kind of motivated me to try. But unfortunately, we lost our first pregnancy, and then I lost Nani, which was just so heartbreaking for me personally, because this was something I wanted to do for her too. But you know what? Timing is everything. Honestly, you guys, timing is everything, and God is so miraculous with the way he does things. And we got pregnant on the very next cycle after all that happened. And it's just been such a blessing. Like, I truly healed from it. And Aliya is literally the apple of his eye, and like our lives completely changed. After that, I really did not want any more kids. I was really traumatized. I'm gonna get into that in another video. There's so many pregnancy questions that I don't really want to bombard you guys with in this video, so I'll do a separate pregnancy Q&A. But long story short, it took me a really long time to be ready for baby number 2. And him and I kind of were differing on our opinions on when we would want that baby number 2. And finally, 3 years later after Aliya, we both decided, okay, I guess,
I mean, it's time.
it's time. She wanted a sibling.
It's good responsibility for her.
Yeah.
It'll be great. She'll love it.
She's
if it's
already
a boy
so
or a girl,
excited.
she'll love it.
Yeah.
She'll be a really good sister.
Yeah, I was personally hoping for a girl for her because that's what she wanted, and then ended up being a boy.
That brings us to our next question. Can you describe your feeling of having a boy?
Oh my God, I was so shocked. So first of all, you guys know from our gender reveal and the little background that I got to find out the sex of the baby before him so that I could surprise him with it. And I just kept thinking girl the whole time. Even he kept thinking girl the whole time.
Yeah, deep
Oh
down.
man, I was shocked. My mouth dropped and I was like, oh my God. First of all, the girl who never thought of even being a mom suddenly became this like hyper crazy girl mom. I'm so all about Aliya. I'm freaking obsessed with her. And I only know how to be a girl mom. And I'm such a girly girl myself. Like, how do you even be around boys? You don't even have a lot of boys in your family. There's very few.
Yeah, we needed one for
We're
the family.
freaking
too.
out. I freaked out so hard. Yeah, no, I was scared because there was a couple reasons why I was really nervous about a boy up until now. One, obviously the lack of boy experience. I don't know what to do. And second, I just have this overwhelming love for Ollie and all my friends that are boy moms. Oh, why am I crying? I'm so stupid and pregnant right now. All my friends that are boy moms have always told me, just wait till you have your boy, because that love is gonna just rock your world. You're not even gonna know what hit you. And I don't think I was ever like mentally prepared to accept that feeling, because my feeling for Ollie is so deep. How can I love another kid, a boy, that much harder? Like, I just couldn't wrap my head around it. I didn't even think I was worthy of that kind of love. I lucked out so hard with Ollie. We both lucked out. We all lucked out with Ollie. And now, you know, thinking that, oh my God, I could potentially have this boy that's gonna steal my heart and be a mama's boy. It made me feel very conflicted, because as much as that sounds so beautiful, I don't know, I feel like I would be so guilty if that really happened, if I was that attached to him.
It'll be okay.
It's an overwhelming feeling. Whew. Okay, next question. It's a video one.
Hi Tamana and Cushaw, this is Angel from London. My question to you guys is, now that you have a girl and you're going to have a boy soon, inshallah, are you going to plan to have another little sister for Aliya and then maybe a little brother for the newborn baby boy that's coming? Thank you.
You just went from like having 2 kids to 3 kids and now 4 kids in one question. What do you think?
I'm all for it. If you can do
you
it, I mean, it's all up to you if you can do it.
I am so emotionally drained. I don't think I could do this again. Although this pregnancy so far, knock on wood, has been nothing compared to how hard it was with Aliya. I don't know, man. I think if I were to have a third, I would love to have a girl for Aliya eventually, but at the same time, dude, what if it's another boy? Like,
you know what? I'll take it.
I don't know. Ask me in a few years. Okay, one more video one.
Hi Tam, it's Sandy here. First of all, congratulations to you and your family. So happy for you guys. My question is, how do you fit in cooking and cleaning into your life? You're such a busy woman. I'm getting married in a couple of months and I'm trying to balance between work, social life, and just learning how to fit all of that in. I would love to know your answer. Bye.
Well, this quarantine, you've been cooking up a storm. I gotta say, she's been doing a really good job.
Aww.
It's been really good.
Thanks.
Yeah, I have to have some home food.
I know.
And and you've been trying so hard.
I stepped it up. Because
Bomb
usually,
ass food.
aw, thanks. Okay, so usually we get food from my in-laws and my parents, but obviously we are not visiting anyone. We're being very, very safe because we love them too much to, risk their health. So I have been having to cook and do all those things, but before all this happened with the quarantine, honestly, I wasn't really cooking or doing any of those things. We had a cleaning lady. I mean, we would clean up after ourselves, but we had a cleaning lady come in once a week to kind of do all the deep cleaning, the bathrooms, the scrubbing, all that kind of stuff. And with caring for Aliya, back in the day, my mom used to come in the morning and take care of like her morning rituals and stuff. And then we would be able to wake up at any time and kind of take care of that. Once Aliya went to school, it was more so us waking up with Aliya in the morning, either Cushaw or me, usually Cushaw, waking up in the morning because he's a morning person, I'm not. But I'd have her clothes ready and I'd have everything ready, her backpack and all that. And he would take her to school and then I would pick her up or however it would work. And school was only part-time too. Now in quarantine, it's been a lot more difficult. Not that bad, luckily, but she's a good kid and like it's only one of them right now, so it's still manageable. And we're both stay-at-home parents anyways. We both work from home. All of our hobbies are basically done at home. So we're with her all the time. The only thing that's like really hard, I think, is the fact that we can't just call someone to watch her. Like right now we're doing this Q&A and she's downstairs eating a bunch of things. I put a whole tray of snacks in front of her. I put her favorite movie on and she's kind of fending for herself and he's watching her on our home cam. So like,
so that's why I keep looking down. Yeah.
So that's what's going on now. But as far as like how we divide up chores, I think the biggest thing is...
yeah. I mean, I cut my finger the first day I started washing dishes.
Literally.
I had a deep cut.
Slashed his finger with a knife.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
I gotta tell you, I'm not.
But in general, you really
really
do a good job with like helping me and supporting me on days that I can't do it, especially now with the pregnancy. I get tired very easily. So he's been really stepping it up and doing way more than what I've asked him for. And I don't even have to ask. He gets up and he does it. That's the type of person he is. He sees something that needs to be done and he does it.
I kind of have an OCD.
There's moments of OCD in him where he's just like on a cleaning mission and I'm just like, dude, sit down. But I've also done my part with the cooking and helping with Aliya when he needs to practice his music and riyaz and do all that stuff. I'll take Aliya away and like have my moment with her. But yeah, that's the thing is we have to remember that it's not a competition on who does more, right? There's days that he does a whole lot more than I do, and then there's days that I feel like I'm doing more. But we have to remember this is like a partnership. It's not a race on who's like the better partner, you know what I mean? So I guess our advice would be just to be open with your communication on what you're expecting out of your partnership and your marriage with your spouse, and both of you should be on the same page with what's expected. Okay, next question.
How does Cushaw and your fam feel about you uploading everything about your personal life?
That is a very popular question too.
It was challenging in the beginning. My family and myself, we weren't ready for personal stuff.
For that TMZ life.
Yeah, that TMZ life came pretty quick.
It like crashed upon them. Yeah. But like I've always been this way. You guys probably remember me from MySpace. I've shared everything about our relationship, my life at home, my friends, my family, everything. I just love oversharing. And I feel like that's how I'm able to connect with you guys. And I have this really amazing relationship with you guys because of, the closeness. So with them, I don't think it took you guys that long to get on board though. I think in the beginning it was more so just avoiding Nazar, and kind of being a little bit more subdued with opinions and things like that. But once they realized what this meant for our community, the DYF community, getting closer and more personable, I think they really started to get on board and understood it. And now they're, 100%. Ever since we've been married, I think it's just been like 100% understanding and partnership with both of our families, just being open. And my parents, they've always kind of been like that too, though. They've always been very open. Like we said in the beginning of the Q&A, like our families are so different, and my parents encouraged me to share a lot and to be myself with you guys. So I don't think it's a really challenging thing anymore. I think in the beginning it was kind of like a learning curve for his family, but we're cool.
We're cool.
Our next question is another video submission.
Here we go.
Hi Tamana, this is Ivona, and my question is, how do you and Cushaw stay so connected and have such an amazing relationship after being together for so many years?
Don't you lie. Don't you lie. So I'll be the first one to tell you that we drive each other crazy. We hate each other 99% of the time. I'm literally at his neck and throat all the time. He pisses me off, I piss him off, and I annoy him with my ratchetness and loudness. Like, this is like the farthest from happy-go-lucky, chill marriage that you could even imagine. We are... Girl.
Yeah, so it's not always happy with us. We're human. We're just like other couples. We argue, we get into it, it gets heated, we need a time out from each other. So yes, of course there's the love, but there's always reality, and two people living together for so long and for so many years. I just think it's human nature.
And when you both work from home and you're together 24/7, it's really intense. At the same time too, I don't know if it's because I'm a Sagittarius or like, the fire sign, like I need a little bit of that spice, and I get bored very easily. So if there's still that like spicy spark and a little bit of the feistiness there, I kind of vibe off of that. But wait, you're a fire sign too. You're a fire sign too. So it's,
Yeah, we're both stubborn.
Yeah.
So I think the best thing for me is to keep chill as my music. That's my, a place of zen where, I can relax my mind and, oh wow. Hi, Peach.
Hi, Peach.
And Pishu. Yeah,
she's a good stress reliever. Gosh, she came at the perfect time. She's a really good stress reliever. And I even told Cushaw, like, he was never a pet person, but I told him when we first got married, we have to have a pet because we fight all the time. Even when we were dating, we fought all the time. I'm like, there's no way we could live together without having like a third person there to calm us down. And literally Pishu's been that person, that little thing that we can just cuddle and love and calm down a little bit and take a break from each other if we need to. Next question. Ooh, this is juicy. Have you and Cushaw ever done marriage counseling?
That's so personal.
Be honest.
We'll be honest.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we have. If you need that non-biased third-party opinion or someone who's just really experienced in couples conflicts and how to resolve them and manage your feelings, I think it's a great thing to go through couples counseling.
It is.
He had actually been asking me to do that for years, but I just wasn't ready to do it because I didn't think we needed it. And then when Aliya was born, there was just so much that happens mentally and physically to you as a new mom, as a new dad, like everything changes. And he kept asking me, come on, we need it. We need this counseling. Like, I don't know how to deal with you and you don't know how to deal with me. And I was like freshly postpartum. So I definitely was not ready. I was still learning how to be a mom and I did not want to take that time away from my daughter going into counseling. So I just kept pushing it. Finally, last year, I approached him and I'm like, look, I think this is a good time now that she's starting school. Maybe you and I can take that time to kind of work on our marriage and work on ourselves and figure out how we want to heal our past traumas,
It does help.
It does. I mean, there's times where we didn't love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good place to vent as well.
You definitely used it as a venting session.
Yeah, I did.
For me, I also wanted to learn how to kind of change my mindset when things were getting really nasty. I had to bring myself back to like being in a healthier place, basically, especially because we were even talking about having another kid. And I'm like, we were both also like, how are we going to have this other kid if we're this rocky,
I throw tantrums too. I mean,
it's not easy living with either of us. I'm not perfect. He's not perfect. Currently, we're not in counseling, but during that period of time, I think I learned a lot about where you're coming from. Right. And I think you also learned a little bit more about where I'm coming from.
Wow, that's a good question. What was life like before being on social media? Less stressful for sure.
Yes, definitely. But for us, I feel like when we started our relationship, it was like at the dawn of social media. It was when MySpace was just starting to happen, and I was very public with everything from that time.
I think
So
from day one, we've been on social
we've kind
media
of been
as a couple.
our whole relationship. People, I think, that have known us since back then have followed the entire
journey.
the makeups and the breakups of Tam and Khush. But like, as far as our dynamic, like in the beginning, obviously social media wasn't a huge part of our life. Work was more so a huge part of my life. School and family was a huge part of Cushaw's life. So like, we weren't always on our phone unless it was with each other.
Right.
Now it's like we're on our phone with social media, we're on our phone for work, we're on our phone for all sorts of things.
Everything.
For everything.
And I think it's the same for everyone now.
Next question. What were some of the challenges you faced as new parents? Details, please. We touched on this a little bit in the previous questions. Being parents brings a whole other level of complicated into your relationship. A lot of times there's like this fairy tale understanding that, oh, having a baby that's half you and half of the man you love just brings you so much closer together, and everything is just like full of love and magical feelings. And the reality is, you know, the magic is there, the love is there, right? But like, there's so much other shit on top of it. You're learning how to react to your spouse as a parent. You're seeing them in a whole new light. I was dramatically going through postpartum depression for months and months after having Aliya. And my situation wasn't really like I was depressed about being a mom and this was all confusing to me. It wasn't like that. It was more so I was in a lot of pain and I felt like no one really understood that. With Cushaw, you probably saw me and was like, oh my God, what a hot mess. What do I do? How do I fix this? And there was no way for him to fix it. That was like hard.
It was just, that was frustrating for me because here I am trying to make things work and trying to help you out, but I'm not feeling what you're feeling and I can't really
relate.
I couldn't do much for you, but you know, I tried my best.
He did. He really stepped it up. I couldn't even walk or move for so long. So like him and my mom were doing all the diapers and the feeds and everything. And I was just sitting there pumping like a cow because that's all I could really do. It was a really rough time. I had to learn about who I was now. I felt like, you know, obviously there she is again. Obviously, like, you know, when you become a new father, your whole identity kind of evolves. And as a mother, it evolves even more because physically your body has changed too. So there's this whole other level of relearning what life means after you have a kid. And, you know, I feel like every child is such a blessing. And I'm sure a lot of you out there who have been through what we've been through, being parents, feel the same way, that you wouldn't trade it for the world. But at the same time, there's so much learning and coping and work in a marriage that needs to be done. And a lot of it too is like, we didn't have time for each other. The only time we had was with our child.
Yeah, we really didn't have any
We didn't even communicate. I didn't want to talk to him. He didn't want to talk to me because the only words out of our mouth during that time was fighting words.
Yeah.
It was rough. Even for my mom, when she would come and help out, like, it was so awkward for her to see us like that.
There's nothing that can prepare you for this.
No. We're probably scaring so many people right now.
Who is the boss of the house?
Aliya. Honestly, she runs our entire life and our entire household. That's just how it is. She's the diva.
Yep. And she has me wrapped around her finger. It's crazy.
Facts. Next one is a video.
Hi guys, my name is Bia from Makeup by Bia. My question for both of you is, what relationship tips do you have for couples that are trying to conceive?
We got a lot of questions like that actually, even in the anonymous poll, a lot of people asking for advice on conceiving.
Honestly, you just have to be optimistic and, you know, just keep trying. Just be positive. Positivity has to be within both of you.
Right. If you're like super stressed, obviously it's going to affect your body. So it will affect the man and the woman.
With patience too.
Yeah. But honestly, the thing that worked for us the most was knowing my cycle. Like I had to take the test to know when I'm ovulating. So I bought an ovulation kit. So I highly recommend you guys do that if you haven't done that yet, because I learned that my cycle was way off. Usually there's like a specific time that people know, okay, this is the time that I'm fertile. But if you're not actually ovulating at that time, it doesn't count. So we were just doing it all wrong. And so it took us forever to actually conceive. And the other thing, like you said, like, be optimistic, have fun with it. I think having fun and just like letting go of all expectations, it's easier said than done, but that truly makes a huge difference. I mean, I have so many more details and advice on that, but I'm gonna save that for the pregnancy Q&A, which will be coming up at a later time, okay? But basically, yeah, do the ovulation thing, have fun with it, try not to stress, and never stop trying. Oh, here's a fun one. At what age will you let Aliya wear makeup? I will let her dad go ahead and answer that.
25.
Wow. Okay, we already beat that because she wore makeup at her 3rd birthday party.
Yeah, I was against that.
But she looks so cute. Okay,
I
I've always been the mom that would like, I hate to say it, but I used to be very judgy before I was a mom. And I'd be like, why is she letting her daughter wear red lipstick? Why is this okay? I don't understand. Like, I was like a junior or senior when I started wearing makeup, and that too was like lip gloss. But she's the daughter of a makeup artist. She sees me work all the time. So of course she's gonna love makeup, and I never really let her do it for real. Like, I bought her fake makeup toys, which are completely pretend. There's no color. She just does it, and she has an amazing imagination. But for her birthday, she turned into Ariel.
That was an exception.
And that was an exception. That was the one time I allowed her to wear her makeup.
Well, it wasn't okay, but you know, yeah, you're
But
right.
she looked freaking cute.
Yeah.
So I'll read off the next question. What's the best advice you got on marriage? And can you share it if it worked? The advice that I thought was the best advice ever was from a few people, mainly my mom and dad, but a lot of other people told us the same thing, to never go to sleep angry with each other. Unfortunately, that did not work in our case, because I soon learned that when I would want to stay up all night talking about things and hashing things out, this guy was half asleep and even more irritated with
I
me.
think that's the worst time to talk about things, when you're in bed.
And here I am like, well, we can't go to sleep angry at each other. We can't do this. This was the advice I got. Our marriage is gonna fail. And so later I just had to realize, dude, everyone's different. Cushaw's the type of guy, he needs his sleep. When it's time for bed, he needs to just go to bed, and I just have to deal with it
I need my 8
and talk to
hours.
him after he's had a full night's sleep.
Next one is a video.
Hi guys, my name is Fema Naz, and my question is for both of you. My question is that, was there a time in your career that you both felt, or one of you felt overwhelmed with the amount of work and what was happening, and if it affected your personal life, and how were you guys able to work through all of it?
With us, yeah, I mean, work situations and home situations are so merged because we both work from home and we work together, and we're together 24/7. So it's kind of inevitable that we have this like super blurred line between business and home life. But we just have to like always remember that we're in it together. We're on the same team. You know, with our marriage or with our business, same thing. And I think we work really well together. And I think it's more the other way around. When he's pissing me off on a personal level, then our business relationship gets really, So I think, you know, for us, it's just a permanent blurred line, and we make it work. I kind of know when I need to back off and stop talking, and he knows when he needs to do the same, and we just take those like physical breaks from each other. He'll go and he'll riaz with his music. That's like his escape. And I'll have my moment to myself or with Ali, and we just kind of calm down and revisit the issue when we're both in a better mood.
Yep. What quality do you admire the most about your partner?
Aw, that's a cute one. Finally something nice. So what is it? What is it about me that you love so much?
I'm gonna need some time to think. No, seriously, I'll be back.
Okay, enough thinking. What is it about me?
No, there's quite a few actually. Your honesty, you have a good heart.
Aw.
And you've always been a go-getter. I think that's like the best qualities a woman can have.
Thank you. That's so nice. Oh my God, I like this. I like this question. What I admire most about you is your patience and how good you are as a father. I feel like seeing you as a dad just made me realize 10 times more what a perfect decision I made in having you as my husband and as my partner in this. You're so good.
Thank you. This is nice.
Oh, this is like couples therapy.
We haven't done this in a long time.
Okay, so we're gonna end it on another really sweet note. What is your favorite memory with Cushaw? And Cushaw, what's your favorite memory with Tam?
You want to go first?
I think every time I think back at like how everything started with us, I feel like my favorite memory will always stand out as the first time we saw each other after being long distance and not knowing what to expect with each other for the first time. Those butterflies, those feelings, every time I think about that moment, all the feelings come right back to me, and I just almost relive it. And I definitely think that's my favorite memory with you. Oh, I love you, Mama. This is her favorite thing, hugging both of us at the same time. Mwah. Okay, so what did you do this whole time while Mommy and Daddy were up here?
I was playing and watching it.
You were playing and watching YouTube? Did you watch Frozen?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Ali.
Diva. All right, so Aliya, we're answering questions from our audience about each other.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna sit here and look cute.
Ready?
Okay? Ready.
What's
All right,
your
go ahead.
favorite color?
What's your favorite color, she said?
Pink and purple. And yellow and orange.
Okay, so my favorite memory is Valentine's Day when I came to your work and we had our first kiss at her work counter. No shame.
Oh my God, it's like the whole world stood still at that very moment. Like no one else mattered, no one was around, it was just you and me.
It's magical.
Okay guys, so that concludes our 20 questions couples edition. That was actually really fun.
Yes, and Aliya was good.
Aliya was so good this whole
She did
time. Ali, come here.
Aliya, you want to say hi?
You want to say bye to everybody?
But I'm curling my hair.
Oh, she's curling her hair right now.
Girls will be girls.
Come on. Bye everyone.
Bye,
See you in
guys.
the next video. Oi, oi, oi.
Mommy.
Mommy. I love you.
Where's Daddy's love?
Oh.
Where's Daddy's love? Cut. No, my turn.
She's only doing it for him because she feels bad.
No.
Oh, can you tell everyone to like and subscribe?
Like and subscribe.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Just be natural.
I forgot what am I saying. What's yours? Wait, this is throwing me off. Here we go. Here we go. Who says that? That's lame. You're me up, dude. She was dancing for most of the part all night.
You're stupid. Next one.
Oh my god. I'm leaning.
Okay, so come back.
What are you doing? You
But
don't
you
see
see-
me? You're so... What?
I do it one more time. One more time.
Let's quit.
Yeah, she was in the bathroom.
Who's that?
Oh. Who the hell is in our house?
It's your